Hello guys, guys and everything else, another cargo pants video, and I hope that this video doesn't get cut short because, the last video I had got cut short because of technical difficulties. Yet again, sorry that my voice sounds absolutely like garbage today, but I'm like sick and I can't do anything about it, so sorry not so sorry. Just let's roll with Wizard. Of course, you use your big brain to cast magic, so intelligence, and you have low health because you're a nerd. So yeah, just, yeah, I'm a geek. I'm a geek, so I'm strong and I don't have social anxiety. Yeah, so now, yeah, of course, trained in perception, fortitude, and reflex, and expert in a will. Also trained in arcana and 2 skills plus your intelligence modifier, which will be pretty high because considering the fact that it's your main ability. And now, of course, you will be trained in club, crossbow, dagger, heavy crossbow, and staff instead of just simple weapons because pain in the butt or something. Instead of just simple weapons. I would personally make it just simple weapons. And you're untrained in all armor and trained in arcane spell attacks. Of course, you get standard amount of spell slots, even though you technically don't, because of your subclass stuff. Most of the time. So, of course, you get your sample countries, but let's get to actual good stuff. Okay, you get your arcane school. Okay, this is 8 subclasses. Okay, actually 9 subclasses. 8 of them being based on a special spell, on a like special spellcasting thing. Just like special school. Okay, evocation for all of the just normal damaging stuff, conjuration for all the summoning, and further stuff like that. And it gives you an additional spell slot of the subclass, of the specific subclass. That's how it works, and also gives you a focus spell. Unless you're taking an universalist, which essentially just gives you more usages of your drain bonded item. And you learn 1 extra spell. That must be level 1 spell. To add to your spellbook. Another another time just to advertise, fear spell exists. It's really good, you should actually use it. Now once per day you can drain your bonded item, which essentially, you can just recast the spell yet again. Which as a universalist you will be able to do this a lot of times, but just other subclasses will be better with a further thing, which is called arcane physis. Gives you essentially just a little bonus that you get, which actually is one of the things that is not really that is not really bad pass, that is not really balanced. I really like the balance of spellcaster, but with wizard is the only class where you have obvious option in characters creation, because I think that they wanted you to get this special thing, but they didn't want it to feel like just a class specific thing straight up. So they just gave you extra options that are all worse because they want you to actually take this thing. Now, of course, you get lighting differences. Okay, at 5th level you get expert at reflex saves instead of just training, and at level 7 you will get the expert also at spellcasting. Also level 9, same with fortitude as with reflex and spellcasting, and now level 11 perception also and then weapons pretty much at level 11, pretty cool. At level 13 you will get expert at defense, and also extra damage from your weapons, which doesn't really matter that much. Now at level 15 you'll be master at spellcasting. And also level 17 you will get master at will, and also will roll a critical success instead of normal success. So whenever you roll a normal success, you get a critical success. Pretty cool. And Archwizard Spellcraft. Okay, you get another 10th level spell slot, and legendary spellcaster legendary at spellcasting. Very cool. Now, arcane schools. Of course, the same thing. Over here, you add one level up. First, you get at like one first level abjuration spell, and just like every level, you get an additional spell slot of that level. Of like that level of the maximal level, so you essentially get 10 additional spell slots. That every 2 levels, you get additional spell slot that you can only use for one of the spells from these things. So now, yeah, Abjuration, Protective Ward, essentially a protection aura that you can use for one action, which is not really all that good in my opinion because it requires you to actually do some setup. So you cannot do this like immediately usually, or you will be putting yourself in danger. So it's kind of a gamble. Now, Conjuration gives you augment summoning, aka just like bonus to summoning. Just like, you essentially give +1 status bonus to all checks, which is also DCs, ACs, and stuff like this. So yeah, I think this also works on attack rolls, which is pretty cool. Which essentially, if you want to make it easier for your players, just essentially make it so if you spend one focus point, you can summon a creature that is one level higher than normally the spell would allow you to. So, for example, the level 1, one first level version of this gives you ability to summon a creature that is level -1. So just make it level 1 creature. So instead of make it level 0 creature instead of that. And at 20th level with 10th level spell slot you will be able to summon a 15th level creature, which just make it a 16th level creature. Now Divination, Diviner's Sight, just essentially gives you Divination Wizard from normal. You roll just to swap a result from enemy. Charming Words, just makes the enemy unable to really hit you. Like it's harder for the enemy to hit you. And Force Bolt is essentially just like magic missile, but you can use only one action on it. Also, for Illusion you get warp terrain that essentially just makes difficult terrain for the enemies around you, and the more actions you actually use, the bigger the terrain is, and then Call of the Grave that makes the enemy weaker, essentially for Necromancy. For Transmutation you get physical boost that essentially gives you +2 status bonus to Acrobatics, Athletics, Fortitude, and Reflex save. The next one that it attempts, but I would actually personally as a DM also allow it on Stealth or a Thievery check. And Universalist gives you just one extra use of bond, essentially gives you one use of bonded item per each spell level instead of just one overall. So yeah, that's pretty much it for Arcane School. Now Arcane Physics. You get improved Unfamiliar Attunement, so essentially you either get just a familiar that essentially gives an extra ability and just some extra abilities. So yeah, you're essentially playing a war switch if you take this. Improved Familiar Attunement is essentially just a war switch. Metamagical Experimentation gives you just additional metamagic, aka ability to augment your spells. Just ability to augment your spells, which it's a thing. Just remember how a guy taking 20 and called Pathfinder players monkeys that just cover their eyes, ears, and stuff like this, and just scream into oblivion, just ignoring the facts and stuff like this, because of just system superiority and stuff like this. And the funny thing is that in the core rulebook, the very first book that we got, we already had metamagic, which is the ability to augment spells, which he completely just ignored. and then later complain that there's no ability to augment spells with your actions, which Metamagic literally is in Pathfinder 2nd edition. And yeah, just decided to call us monkeys, and then just complain about non-existent issues. And also in his example with Ranger, he essentially just like faked movement, faked movement in such a way, because normally D&D characters have an extra action, have like extra 5 feet of movement. So yeah, just he abused that to make a Pathfinder 2nd edition character just move need to move extra movement, just waste 2 actions just to make the ability of the Pathfinder character seem worse. And also ignored attacks of opportunity in D&D just to make D&D sound better than Pathfinder 2nd edition. And only whenever he said that, just actual like stuff, just like, hey, this is my just opinion and stuff like this, which, just whenever he said actual things that he should say at the like start of the episode. Yeah, he said it at the end of the episode where everyone left except the Pathfinder players. Like, this video was just horrible. Now, spell binding, aka a thing that everyone actually takes. You can take 2 spell slots of 1 level and make them 1 or 2 levels higher, and turn it into a spell slot that is 1 or 2 levels higher. And to my knowledge, you can actually exchange as many spells as you can have. So when you're at 3rd level, you can actually take the first level spell slot. If you of course didn't choose Universalist, you can actually take the 2 spell slot as level 1, like 4 spell slots at level 1, and turn them into 2 level 3 spell slots. And same with like spell slots at level 2. Okay, give yourself like 8 level 3 spell slots instead of level 1 spell slots. That's pretty cool, that's pretty rad, if I do say so myself. Now, spell substitution, yeah, you can just like wait 10 minutes and change a spell. That's pretty situational. Personally, how I would treat both substitution, like spell substitution I mean, is essentially make it so you can actually just like, I don't know, like that you can actually spend like 1 action and maybe a focus point or something like this. You could be able to like spend 1 action as a meta magic thing. Like you can spend 1 action as like meta magic, aka your next action need to be to cast a spell. You can spend 1 action to actually be capable of changing a spell slot, and you can probably do this like once per minute or something like this, Or in my opinion, you should be able to. You can essentially just like use one action to use 1 action to essentially make it so you can cast a spell and change what the spell actually is, You can just like do the same thing but just changing a spell, but only if you like use 1 action. You use 1 action, okay? And then when you use it for 1 action, you can actually temporarily, for like 1 round, one of the spells in your spells repertoire is changed to another spell of the same level. And yeah, you can actually like then cast the spell normally. That's how I would do it personally. You don't have to do it, but that's how I would like fix it, because this core rulebook is not like the best thing that has ever come out of Pathfinder, even though it's really good. Like the stuff that with the wizard physicists is like one of not many slip-ups that Paizo actually did. Now stuff, and now of course that's just my opinion once again. And you can use it only once per minute. And stuff next is, yeah, just gives you a stuff. Just gives you like a customizable stuff. That's pretty much it. Like, okay, so now after I did this, now Wizard Fate just like focus. Yeah, just like take the advanced school spell for first, and like bonded focus and probably linked focus also could be pretty good. And now universal versatility could also be pretty good, or Hunt of the Apprentice could also be pretty cool. But that's only if you play Universalist, but I don't really like the Universalist, so I don't remember. Recommend taking that one. And yeah, now also we have just the Fortress Concentration is always great, and also Infinite Possibilities is essentially just what I told you, but kind of nerfed, you know? You can essentially just take any spell that is 2 levels or lower than your max spell level. Oh wait, no. The spell acts in all ways as spell 2 levels or lower. Yeah, you can just like lower your spell by 2 levels, and that's how you do it. And that's how you can like actually cast it automatically. Yeah, I wanted to do the same thing, but I forgot to tell you about the 2 levels lower thing before. So you can actually like spend 2 actions to just change your normal spell into a spell that is 2 levels or lower or something like this, you know? It's pretty... It's the way I would actually balance it, but you need to actually like spend an action or something like this, you know? Or better, for this one I would actually make it so you need to spend an action, but it actually becomes just like 1 level lower instead of 2. Yeah, that's what I actually wanted to like tell you. So yeah, that's pretty much it. Just remember oh yeah, and also for like spells that you can take, forgot to tell you about that. Fireball, Cone of Cold, Fear, and Mask of Terror. These are just like sample spells. But remember, just like, if you want to take different spells, you're welcome to. I'm just sharing my opinion and just make it so it will be easier for you. Pretty much. At least that's what I'm trying to do. But just remember, try to walk your own path, you freaks of nature.